Thank you, everybody, for being with me again. I'm going to talk more about conspiracy theories, particularly one that cropped up over the last few days and was reported in the mainstream media, and particularly on the ABC. And I'll be showing you a clip of their reporting on this particular conspiracy theory in just a moment. But I do need to say that if I want a conspiracy theory of my own, it was that when I was making this video a little while ago, the power in our house went out. So if I was a conspiracy theorist, I'd say that was intended. But I know it wasn't, because we had been notified that there would be an outage. I just thought it would have happened earlier. However, in this particular conspiracy theory, it is in relation to the United Nations taking over if the Yes campaign gets across the line. The thing about conspiracy theories is that they are full of crap, unfounded, factless crap, and that we, I think, need to make a stand against them. My biggest fear is that some of these conspiracy theories are now taking over, that they're making it to the mainstream media and we're talking about them. And in this particular case, Anthony Albanese had to address this particular conspiracy theory. It is in relation to the Yes campaign getting across the line, and as a result of that, the United Nations will come in and take over our country. Now, the reality is that the United Nations do not have that power, do not have the authority to do so anyway. And in terms of their peacekeeping forces, they are simply peacekeeping. There's a story whereby they were in Bosnia as peacekeepers some years back and had to sit back and watch while atrocities were taken, people were murdered, women were raped, families were diabolically separated, but the United Nations peacekeepers had to just sit back because they are peacekeepers. They are there to observe, not to get involved. So when we think about the United Nations as being some sort of a force, well, they're not. They're a conglomerate of a whole lot of the nations that belong to the United Nations, which is some 149 countries, and they get together as a peacekeeping force, and a peacekeeping force alone. That the United Nations has this power for some reason, that they are full of the cabal, that they do these terrible things to children, and that they have the power to be able to take over countries, is a bullshit, just to put it mildly. So I'm going to play this video to you whereby the ABC did this report on this particular conspiracy theorist who is probably well known to you if you watch Neighbours, but to me, no idea who this strange, crazy sort of person is. But I'll play this video for you. Let me know what you think below. If you subscribe to my channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And let me know what you think of this particular conspiracy theory. If you agree with it, let me know why you agree with it. What information you've got that possibly supports such ludicrous and crazy ideas. So here is the video.
What has occurred during this campaign is a lot of information being put out there, including by some who know that it is not true.
It's safe to say this was on nobody's bingo card for the referendum campaign. Anthony Albanese coming out to dismiss talk of a UN plot to take over Australia.
I've seen stuff saying that all private ownership would disappear, that it is about the United Nations taking control of Australia.
What the Prime Minister is referring to here is a conspiracy theory that's been spreading online, which claims the Voice to Parliament is the first stage of a UN invasion of Australia. It's a claim that was spotted among the hundreds of placards at anti-Voice rallies in September. But this false theory started online months ago.
When the UN soldiers, peacekeepers, police, acting on behalf of the Aboriginal tribes, turn up and take ownership and jurisdiction over your property, they'll have it because you said yes.
This video has been viewed at least 500,000 times online since it was posted to Facebook in August.
I would like to know why us voting yes for the recognition of Indigenous people in our constitution could possibly ever mean that the United Nations or anybody else or any other country would want to get involved in our affairs. It makes no sense and it's totally illogical.
This is urgent and we need as many eyes on this as possible.
It was produced by prolific conspiracy theorist Nicola Charles, who goes by the name White Rabbit. If that name and face is familiar, that's because Nicola Charles was once a star on Neighbours in the 1990s.
You want to book in for later?
No, it's pretty clear, so I'm going to get to go home on time for a change.
Her 17-minute video runs through a list of false claims about The Voice, chief among them that The Voice to Parliament would result in a UN coup.
This is an invasion by the one world government, the UN.
ABC Investigations has tracked how the video spread online. It was reposted dozens of times in Australian local community Facebook groups and other spaces discussing the referendum, and has now been shared more than 25,000 times. By comparison, during that time, the most shared video post by Fair Australia, which runs the official No campaign, was shared almost 17,000 times, as was a video published by One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. The Yes campaign's top video has only been shared 3,800 times.
The United Nations are represented as a globalist agenda, so a faceless elite who are working behind the scenes to take away national sovereignty. And basically in the context of this video, they're being represented as seeking to invade Australia. The fact that the Prime Minister's had to address it at all speaks to the spread and the extent of the spread of this material, but also its danger, its dangerous potential.
Nicola Charles' claims are at the extreme end of lies being spread about The Voice to Parliament, but other conspiracy theories about the UN and Australians losing sovereignty and property have gone mainstream in recent months.
The Human Rights Commission has been trying to get Australian governments to legislate the declaration. Now, there are 46 separate articles, and the ones that everyone at home should be very concerned about are the ones that suggest there should be a separate Indigenous nation within Australia, separate Indigenous government, separate Indigenous economy, rules, law, institutions.
I think the reason why the conspiracy theory is successful or is popular online is because a lot of people are worried about what is going to happen if The Voice succeeds. Emotions run high when you are not sure about something and you can't find an answer. So that's when conspiracy theories tend to take root.
Even the Prime Minister's comments dismissing the UN conspiracy have been co-opted for a new piece of misinformation shared online, thanks to some selective editing, removing some important context.
There is worse information on question in some social media as well about the world conspiracies of the United Nations will control all land in Australia. All land. You will lose private ownership of everyone's home will go with a yes vote. It's just absurd.
Please share this. Please warn everyone.
The true impact of this conspiracy is hard to measure, but it's already done its job of seeding confusion and doubt in the minds of many Australians deciding whether to vote yes or no.
So my issue is, how do we deal with crazy people like this woman and other people who share these videos? And particularly those people that choose to edit out stuff so that it just fits with their narrative. The real issue is, how dishonest is all of that? And what sort of people want to try and manipulate others, people that are perhaps less likely to go and seek the appropriate information, who do have a sense of conspiratorial type of thinking, that they are then manipulated to start to believe in some of this shit that these people, such as this woman, are trying to spread. And others. And Fair Australia, which uses segments of what people say, take it completely out of context, and then try to manipulate it in such a way that fits with their narrative. I think that we should try and find ways to call them out, as I am doing right now, and that you should share these types of videos to the people that you are associated with so that you can get to see another perspective. Because as was said in this video, these people are dangerous, extremely dangerous, because they're spreading fear and doubt where it should not be spread. There's no reason under this earth I was going to say God's earth, and I would have hated myself for having said that. But there is no reason for anyone to believe any of this sort of shit, because it's unfounded, it is without fact, it is simply an idea that someone has concocted about the United Nations having these incredible powers which they do not have, and that we as a country have not got sovereignty over our own country, that we're going to somehow explain to me how we're going to give up our sovereignty to someone like the United Nations. The United Nations don't own anything. They don't own a country. They're not a sovereign power. They're just a group of other countries who get together to try and resolve world issues, such as health, such as mental health, such as domestic violence and all the other issues that sit in our lives. They are the ones who are trying to look at that from the world's perspective and try to present solutions, whether it be situations around malaria and other issues that sit within the world that they're trying to resolve. They are not going to take over our country. That is not going to happen. But why people need to insist on putting forward these particular beliefs, I will never know. I don't understand the logic in it. I was watching a video by David Graham, Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot, my favourite TV show because it's worth a good laugh. And they were talking about the Venus, so it's an eclipse between the Earth and the Sun or Moon or whatever and Venus, and how on October the 14th there's going to be the second coming of Christ. For Christ's sake, leave it alone. It's never happened, never will happen, but these people want to believe these crazy beliefs. They're not founded in science, not founded in any sense of rationality whatsoever. But people, because they're full of fear and don't have the answers and are too friggin' lazy to find those answers themselves, believe in this shit. And we have to find a way to make a stand against them. Now, my little YouTube channel has only got 147 subscribers, which reminds me, please subscribe. It doesn't have much of a voice. But, people like Russell Brand and others who are spreading these conspiracy theories, who have 6 million subscribers, they're the ones that seem to be influential. They're the ones that seem to have the power. They're the ones that seem to have the voice. And we need to be able to make a stand. You and I, me with my little YouTube channel, who gives a fuck? But I'm at least trying to make the effort to let you know that these people are dishonest and that, I think, how's this for an idea? We bring back the stocks. We stand people in the middle of the town square who believe this shit, who are at least spreading it, and we stand them in the middle and we throw fucking tomatoes at them. At some point, we have to say, you're crazy. So, even though there's a part of me that wants to say, I want to understand why you believe this stuff. Like, where does this come from? What psychologically is happening to you? Why are you so afraid of stuff you do not understand, fail to investigate, fail to find out the actual facts, want to believe these alternate facts? So what's happening to you in your world that makes you want to do this crazy shit? Don't understand it. And that there are millions of people who want to believe this shit. Why is this so? Someone, please place a comment down below. Let me know what you think, because I want to know. Come on my channel, have a conversation with me about it, because I really want to know where you're coming from and why you do want to believe such moronic crap. So let me know what you think. Look, in the meantime, as I say at the end of all of my posts, take care, look after yourselves, don't believe this shit, and be safe.